Hi, everyone. We're going to get started. If you could take a seat. Okay, there's some seats up here if you'd like to come up to the front. You don't need to stand in the back. Okay, good morning. How is everyone? Good. Thank you so much for schlepping out here in the rain. Not too bad, though, and we want to welcome you here to 290 Malosi and to our special event here. So those of you who are familiar with us know that we have this very amazing tradition to celebrate once we have built a new home for people and people have had a chance to move in, that we have a party. So this is where we are, and we have some speakers today that are behind me, and I'll introduce them, but I just want to say that I'm Ramey, and I'm with Mercy Housing, and I'm very happy to be here to welcome you to Sunnydale, the amazing community that is Sunnydale. So many of you know that Sunnydale is one of the places in San Francisco that has been special, and the residents for a very long time have been waiting for change in the form of new housing, new parks, new streets, all the things that they deserve. And they waited a very long time. We were able to start construction, or finish construction, I should say, on our first development, Casala, in 2019 across the street. And then we were able to finish and move folks in. And it's been about actually a year anniversary since people have settled in here to 290 Malosi. And as you know, this is 167 new homes with 75% of the units set aside for Sunnydale residents who are living here in the community and want to stay and want to really keep their roots here in the community. So we are very excited to be able to celebrate this accomplishment, and also to start construction very, very soon on the next affordable housing development across the street. So we'll probably hear more about that later. So I want to go ahead and get us started because we do have some speakers that want to celebrate this occasion with us, and a lot of them had a chance to participate through their funding, which I know is like, why is this all about money? But it's really critical that we get the chance to hear from the folks who've been able to make sure that the funding that this community needs and the investment that this community needs happens. So we're going to start off with our supervisor, Shaman Walton. I think he probably needs no introduction, but I'd like to very much welcome Supervisor Walton to speak.
Good morning. First of all, I just want to say thank you to all of the partners and everyone who collaborated on making this possible, as we are living in a city that oftentimes we have struggles with getting housing built, particularly affordable housing, but we are proving a lot of people wrong, and we can honestly ask the question, who says you can't build affordable housing here in San Francisco? Now, obviously, this is not the first day that this amazing space, one with beautiful housing and beautiful homes for families, this great community space down here. This is not the first day we've had an opportunity to be in here. In fact, we've been in here for some very lively discussions. But that is a testament to the concern of community and to the importance and the value that they have on making sure that positive change is possible and actually comes to community. And so I'm excited to celebrate the fact that we already have folks who are living here. This space is available to community. It's already being utilized for community, but Sunnydale has a rich and deep history. It has a rich and deep cultures that reside in this community that have been living together, working together, participating together for decades. And so we want to remember that rich culture, remember that diversity as we continue to bring more new housing to this community, because that is what makes Sunnydale community what it is. That vibrancy, that diversity, and all of the culture. So everyone will have an opportunity to celebrate these community spaces, to celebrate the new Boys and Girls Club, to celebrate all of the amenities that are coming along with the brand new housing here. And so again, I just want to appreciate everyone, not for just showing up for today, but for all the work that got us this beautiful residential building and the buildings that are going to be coming. These are homes. These are places where people are going to continue to raise families, continue to make sure that their community is vibrant. And we couldn't do this without working together with everyone. I don't want to start naming names or organizations. I know we're going to hear that all throughout. But I will just say a few. Of course, Mercy Housing, Mayor's Office of Housing Community Development, Housing Authority, related, working together with other developers, NIBI, Baines Collaboration, everyone who participated, all of the community organizations, whether you place people on the job, whether you were somebody who actually worked to build this yourself as a resident. Want to make sure that we also say thank you to those nonprofits and organizations that continue to do the work right here in our own community. And with that, I will let you all get back to this ceremonious occasion and just want to again celebrate the work that has been done. And we know that this is not the end of where we're going as a community right here in Sunnydale. Thank you.
Thank you, and I want to thank Supervisor Walton, sorry, I'm like behind, for all your leadership in championing the things that really matter for our communities, and it's amazing to have you here, so thank you. Okay, so many of you know that Mercy Housing and Related California are two organizations that partner together because Sunnydale is so special, you get two of us. And so I want to introduce to you Ann Silverberg, who is basically leading the development work that Related has around affordable housing for all of Northern California. So, Ann?
Thank you, Ramey, and thank you, Supervisor Walton. Thank you all for being here today. Despite the rain, it's very exciting to see everyone here. So I want to say first, this community transformation is the type of innovative planning and collaboration that's vital in addressing the city's severe housing crisis. And it's exactly the kind of thing that we need to be doing, and it's exactly the kind of thing that we at Related are focused on doing. And it's really nice to be here to celebrate the opening, even though I know it's true, Supervisor, we've been open for a little while. It's very nice to actually have a moment to celebrate the opening of the first on-site building and the second building at Sunnydale. So I want to acknowledge the leadership of Mayor London Breed and her amazing housing staff. Thank you. Yes, we should. Yeah. As well as the San Francisco Housing Authority, the HUD, Supervisor Walton, everyone has been working with passion and promise to take care of the residents here at Sunnydale and the residents in San Francisco. So I want to tell you, our office, the San Francisco office, the Affordable Group, recently moved. Some of you know that. We moved, down the hall. And as I was packing up, I found the original RFP response for Sunnydale Hope SF back in 2008. And that, yes, it's true, we needed to pack up and move because we had the RFP from 2008 in the office. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is 2008, the response was signed by Jane Graff and Bill Whitty. And in 2008, I'm imagining, and Bill, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when we submit our RFPs, we think about days like this when we're submitting the RFP. I don't know if you thought it was going to be in 2023 that we had this day, but nonetheless, I imagine that you were thinking about opening the building and people moving in and living here in their brand new units that were beautifully built and are beautifully designed, and a new home for everybody. So it's really nice after all of these years to be here celebrating that which was just a vision all the way back in 2008. And of course, there are those that are still involved in the effort, including Bill, but also those who have been handed the baton and are carrying on. And I can't say enough about our partner, Mercy Housing. Jane Graff handed the baton to very passionate and committed Doug Shoemaker, and Ramey Dare, who willed this to happen, who worked on this for the last decade and a half and made it happen. And so many people, Elizabeth and everybody at Mercy Housing, we could not have asked for a better partner. We feel so lucky to be partnered with you for these decades, plural. So I will say also that, as Ramey pointed out, it takes more than sheer will and determination to make a project like this happen. It does take money. So I do want to acknowledge some of our financing partners. We have MoCD, of course, TCAC, SIDLAC, Wells Fargo, and all of you, while you are here celebrating, also have folks back in the office working on the financing of the next phase. So the partnership and the commitment that you all have to Sunnydale, not just Block 6, but Block 3B and 3A coming up as well, really, really appreciated. And then finally, I'd like to recognize the Related California team. I want to start again by mentioning Bill Whitty, who signed the RFP response and has been personally committed to the residents at Sunnydale and this effort since that time, and will continue to be so. He's brought a few of us along the way with him, but he has been personally committed to seeing this through. And then hard work, day to day, with such professionalism and commitment to win, Paige Peltzer, Jolisha Cotton, thank you very much for all of your work. So today we're celebrating this very exciting and important milestone, and we're working very hard to have more milestones so we can have more events, so you can all come out and celebrate the groundbreaking. We're going to build more and more grand openings coming up soon. All right, thank you.
All right, next. So speaking of sure will, we have Dr. Tanya Littiju coming up next to speak, and want to welcome Tanya. She has been an amazing force and leader for the Housing Authority. I know that there are a lot of things to figure out with the Housing Authority, but Tanya is working on it, and we all need to support her and her colleagues. So anyway, thank you, Tanya, come up.
Thank you, Ramey. I'd really be remiss if I didn't ask our board president, Joaquin Torres, to come and stand by me and give him an opportunity for a few words. I have 3 minutes, so I'm going to share my time with him. And I did this because I've been here with the Housing Authority 4 years, and I'd like to say, first of all, I want to thank the residents of Sunnydale for just your willingness and your patience to engage in this redevelopment process, because redevelopment is not easy, and you have done a wonderful, amazing job being a partner with all of us. So thank you for that. And while it is true that it is about money, we need money to do things. Money talks, it's so important. But without this community, that money would not have been able to do what it's doing today. And I'd also like to say that I'm really amazed about all of the work that's going on as I look at the old development and I look at what's happening today. I'm really excited about it. I'm so hopeful for not just this community, but for San Francisco, because when the bond was passed for this work, the commitment has been kept. We can see it by looking at these buildings that we are using the funding for what it has been purposed for. And that funding also has said that this community matters. And it also says that this community, we see you. And I'd like to say, as the Housing Authority CEO, I see you. You're in my heart each and every day. And as I collaborate with Doug and his team, as I collaborate with MOCHD, Eric and his team. Each and every day, my team, we are really working hard in a collaborative manner to make sure that everything that is supposed to take place in this development happens and that we're supportive of that work during this time. And we remain committed that no resident will be displaced. We remain committed that each and every resident here in this in Sunnydale, that you will have first priority to every new building that is built here, or as we all know, the one-for-one replacement, you can have a choice to go somewhere else. But many residents have chosen to stay here, as Ramey has stated, and I'm just so pleased at how we continue to move forward. And you know, Joaquin, I brought him here, asked him to come up because as the board president, he has been doing this for a very, very long time. And he has been a great advocate for this work. He has been an advocate for each and every resident here. And I want him to have an opportunity to speak.
Just to keep things brief and moving along, I'm just very honored to stand next to a leader like Tanya Ledeju. I'm very honored to stand in support of a collaborative vision that supports communities and our residents. And I'm even more excited to keep the work moving in a structured, substantial, and equitable way. So thank you all. Thank you all for the partnership, and let's keep going.
One last thing, just a real quick shout out to the Hope SF team. They've done a lot of work in Sunnydale, Potrero, and our other sites. So thank you, Hope SF.
We have here, oh, can you hear me? Okay. We have today Ed Cabrera from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. And as you may know, HUD basically is in charge of making sure that we do right in Sunnydale. And so we, several years ago, had to write a plan to show HUD that, look, we're going to be transforming this place with all new housing, all new parks, streets, everything. And they scrutinized it quite well to make sure that you all were protected as residents and got to stay here and your rent wasn't going to change, and that we were going to take care of you. So I want to welcome Ed to come up and speak and thank HUD for their leadership and making sure that Sunnydale is taken care of.
Thank you, Ramey. What an exciting day to be here today. As a former resident of San Francisco, and actually lived not too far from here, saw this place coming up as a kid, and the amount of change in so little time has been amazing. And my God, this has become the jewel, I'm sure, of what will be a new neighborhood in the future. So congratulations on that. And I think what's amazing here, and you shouldn't take for granted, is that you have really a dream team, in my opinion, of leaders that have come together to make this happen. HUD sure plays a role as a funder and a regulator, but really, you all are where the rubber meets the road. And had it not been for you all coming together, pulling in the same direction over a long time to get to where we are, this wouldn't be here. So you all are really to thank for that. I just wanted to share a few things that I think are exciting from our vantage point, and also want to acknowledge, as Dr. Ledeju did, that you have here a team with Assessor Torres, with Eric Shaw and Mercy Housing, Doug Shoemaker. You have Ann Silverberg at Related and others. I think it's important to understand that doesn't come for all communities. It takes time, and I think the collaborative nature of this is evident here. It's tangible. What you've achieved here is nothing short of amazing. We do have a housing affordability crisis, as you know, here in San Francisco. I think it's worse than at any time in modern history. That said, it's a problem nationally, and HUD recognizes that. So we're doing everything we can with the support of our leadership and the Biden-Harris administration. We have a new blueprint for for renters' bill of rights in the country. We have a new proposed budget that really prioritizes increase investment, not just in home ownership, but also in renter housing, and really making a dent in homelessness, which is pervasive across our country. So we're excited about that opportunity. HUD continues to be a partner here. We're based here in San Francisco. We're going to be reopening our doors to walk-in customers, so spread the word next week. That will take place. Most recently, in February, HUD invested additional resources, about $5.6 million into the San Francisco Housing Authority. So we're trying to put our money where our mouth is here, and we're excited to be partnering with you in this at this point and here in Sunnydale. So thank you very much.
So next I want to introduce Ricky Hammett. Did you come all the way from Sacramento? Ricky came all the way from Sacramento. So Ricky is with the California Debt Limit Allocation Committee, and is basically the state of California's agency that makes sure that we have funding for affordable housing like the 290 Malosi development. So Ricky asked to come and speak, and we want to welcome Ricky to come up to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramey. Yes, as Ramey said, I work for the California Debt Limit Allocation Committee, also known as CDLAC, and also the California Tax Credit Allocation Committee, known as TCAC. These are two committees that are within the State Treasurer's Office and provide tax-exempt bond and tax credit financing to help get projects like 290 Malosi built. I'm honored to be here on behalf of our State Treasurer, Fiona Ma, and our Executive Director, Nancy Robles. Affordable housing is much needed in California, as there's a critical shortage. We all know that. Today is a very special day for San Francisco and the residents that we'll call 290 Malosi home. Thank you to all of those involved. As we've heard, it takes a lot of collaboration, not only financing, but a lot of effort to get something like this built, and it's much needed. And it's great to hear of the efforts that will continue around Sunnydale and create more affordable housing in the future. These apartments are going to provide stability and futures where residents can thrive. The Treasurer has made affordable housing a priority in her administration, and we're grateful for all the work that's been put into this project. The Treasurer sent me with a message of thanks and congratulations to everyone involved. Without your dedication, we wouldn't be here. I would like to present a couple certificates to Mercy Housing and Related California in recognition of outstanding commitment to safe, affordable, and accessible housing for Californians and residents of the city and county of San Francisco. Congratulations and best wishes for continued success. So here you go, Ramey.
Okay. All right, we're going to do a quick photo.
One here's for Ann, too.
Okay.
I'm not very good at this. So.
Thank you very much.
No.
Thank you for the honor. Okay, so next up, John Coe from Wells Fargo Bank. So Wells Fargo provided our construction loan. You can tell there was a lot of funding here. Construction loan and the tax credit equity. So they were a very key partner on this, and we could not have built 290 Malosi without them. So we want to welcome John up to the podium.
Great, thank you, Ramey. As Ramey said, Wells Fargo is committed to projects like this. We provided roughly $218 million for Block 6, and it was in the form of a construction loan, tax credit equity, which is long-term, as well as a multifamily capital permanent loan. So very committed, and we're committed to Ann's Related's 3A, 3B project. We're going to put another $130 million into that in the form of debt, and then $43 million in equity. So those are large dollar commitments, but it makes my job a lot easier when you have courage and leadership both at the city level and at our partner level. So Mercy Housing, we've been doing business with Mercy for 30 years. I've been at groundbreakings with Doug for, 40 times or so, so a lot, and a very, very strong relationship with Related. And again, our projects, or my job becomes a lot easier when we have very strong partners like that. I didn't realize it took 15 years to get here. Our part on Block 6 was 3 years. So again, that just shows how much dedication the team has, and Wells Fargo, as well as myself. I'm very proud to be a part of it. So thank you very much.
Okay. Before we get to the best part, which is Jocelyn, our resident, I want to attempt to acknowledge the big tent of folks that have been part of creating what we have here, and really like holding the vision, because as we've talked about, it's been a while and it will be a while more, and I'm probably going to forget someone, so forgive me, because it's a lot of people. But first, I want to recognize the architects that designed 290 Malosi. So Levy Design Partners, if you could raise your hand if you're on the team. Thank you for. They started with me over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and kind of made sure that they stuck with us as we tried to figure out how to get the funding for the development. So thank you, Levy Design Partners. And then we've got the Baines-Nibby joint venture here, the general contractor that built this building and our streets. Amazing team. We also have Gonzalo Castro, he is a one-man show and really helps us make sure that we get all the permits that we need, and the construction is of highest quality. I mean, there's so many things that Gonzalo does, and he's amazing. So thank you, Gonzalo. All the funders that we've met today, thank you so much for investing in this community, and I know some of you are playing a role in the next development that will start construction when does it start in construction?
Next Monday.
Next Monday, oh my gosh, okay. And then many of you know we've started construction on a brand new community center as well. And a special shout out to a lead agency. I can't even describe their role here because it's not, there's no other comparison, but the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development and your Hope SF staff, they've been basically holding the vision on behalf of the city. And, there are other city departments that contribute, like the Public Works and, all the agencies that we have to work with to make sure that we get all these buildings and streets built, but it's really been the Mayor's Office of Housing and the HOPE-SF staff that have really held it together and been our partner through all of this. And so thank you, Director Shaw and your team. Special shout out to Sarah Amaral, who I don't know if she's here, but okay. We could not have done it without Sarah. And then Philip Wong and welcome new team member Manaj, they have also been part of that team as well. Okay, so the last group I want to acknowledge is the Mercy staff, and I know I'm going to forget someone, but there's a lot of folks who make sure that once 290 Malosi is built, that we are creating fun things or facilitating fun things for you to do, and really making sure that there's a community connection here, and that we're providing the best property management that we can, because we want you to continue living in a beautiful place, and all the work that team does to make sure that your questions are answered. Maybe they don't have all the answers right then and there, but really making sure that what you're wondering is addressed. And there's so many things that team does. But I want to thank the Mercy team who've been here, as well as the new members, and really made sure that 290 Malosi and Casala and the next development and the next development are special places for Sunnydale residents. So that's Elizabeth Chilton, Ashley, Nakima, Jasmine, Tyrone, Blanche, Edgar, Esmeralda, Marissa, Stephanie, Larry, James, Melly, Shannon, Nyla, who worked on the development, Priscilla, Claire, and Drew, Jock, and Manuel and Olivia. Thank you very much for all that you do. Okay, next up, we have Jocelyn. She is a resident here at 290 Malosi, and before moving here, she's lived in Sunnydale for 10 years and has a family here that she's raising. And we want to congratulate you on your childcare business that you're opening here at 290 Malosi and in one of the family daycare units. Nice job. We want to welcome you up. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. First of all, I just want to say thank you, and let's celebrate human beings. And I think that's the one thing that I want to highlight a lot is this community has gone through so much, and it's just amazing to see how we embrace that change because sometimes we don't like it. As she said earlier, my name is Jocelyn Lainez Robles, and I am a now 290 Malosi resident. But before that, I used to live in Sunnydale. Funny thing is, we moved in 2008 when all of this was just starting, and we weren't even aware of that. So we came in a moment where change was already happening and it was moving, but we didn't know if it was really going to take effect. And so just seeing that and growing up in a neighborhood with so much need, it kind of inspired me. And I told my mom and I said, hey, do you think we should risk ourselves and get into the new building? Like, what should we do? And she was like, you know what? I don't even know either. But so we were in that kind of like, should we or should we not take this opportunity? And I remember having a real deep conversation with her. And I said, well, you know, they did say they were building 2 daycare units, and, you know, we both love working with children. I don't see anything here that provided that kind of outlet for the youth and for, you know, younger children, because they're so used to seeing violence and they're so used to seeing other things that no children should be growing up with at that point in their life. And so that kind of conversation that we had with her kind of like inspired, okay, so let's jump on this opportunity because we don't know when we'll get another one. And so we're here now. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to Mercy Housing for choosing me amongst so many other residents that I'm pretty sure have a lot more tear-jerking testimonies, I'm pretty sure. But I'm honored, and I'm very happy. And I want to say to the future residents, don't be afraid of that change. Accept it, embrace it, because you just never know what opportunities will bring you. You never know what neighbors you'll have a lot in common with that you didn't have that. A community that you didn't know that actually provided you some sort of sense of like saying, oh, so you went through that too. I did too. And so then now you're building those type of relationships and bonds that you never had an opportunity before that. So being able to do that here has brought so much refreshment, so much of empowering cultures, of embracing one another's differences and allowing each personality be. And just also allowing us to be in a space where we feel safe enough to be ourselves, to be Hispanic, Asian, Black, to be all different types of races and cultures, and just bringing those traditions as well and highlighting them. I think that's what 290 Malosi has done so far, and I hope they can continue to do that for the next projects. And sometimes we don't think about that when we're investing. We're just thinking about, oh, we're gonna have this new building, more people are gonna live in them, but it's so much more than that. And I'm an example of that. It's so much more. I see a lot of children being able to safely play outside and not having to worry about cars, not having to worry about weird animals in the street, or having to worry about strays and things like that, and just being able to be children again and finding that joy and being able to tell their parents, hey, I'm gonna go outside, and their parents being comfortable and secure in that environment. Bringing that here to this kind of community that very needs it has been such inspiring, and that is the reason why I'm very excited and so honored to open my own small in-home daycare, where I previously said that my main goal is to allow a child be a child, to allow them a resource where they can just be children and be free without any judgment, without any negativity, and have a stress-free, because it is now proven that kids can also get stressed. And sometimes nowadays, they don't have somewhere where they can release that and have an outlet, and I want to be that. And so 290 Malosi has brought that and given me that opportunity so that I can give to other children. And hopefully the youth can be aware of that. Change is always good. Maybe we don't see it in the moment and we're afraid of it, but once you allow it to happen, you'll see the doors open. So I just want to leave that with you guys. Thank you so much.
I told you the best was last, right? Well, that concludes our program, and I think there's going to be a ribbon cutting photo, but we want to go ahead and invite you to enjoy some refreshments and just hang out and celebrate, and thank you very much for coming.